Hi David, I hope you're well. Just can we start with a general sort of fitness update? How's the squad looking heading into this weekend?
Yeah, after last game against Leeds away, Johnny Rowe has broken his a bone in his hand, so he will miss Sunday's game, maybe Coventry as well. So we hope that he is back after this couple of games. He does not need a surgery. This is how it looks at the minute, but we have to make further investigations when his hand is less swollen. It looks as good as he does not need a surgery at the minute, and this would mean he will probably miss 1 or 2 games, and hopefully then he recovers well.
Grant Hanley, I think you said he'd be set for a return to training. Is that kind of all gone to plan?
Grant is back in training the whole week. Will be in the squad for sure, in the matchday squad. Josh will not be involved. This is a decision which we made at the beginning of the week. He will get 2 starts and then we will rest him for Liverpool. This means he has then another week to prepare for Coventry and then another week after to prepare then for the next week with a midweek game where he should then normally be ready to have 3 starts in a row as well.
I can imagine it's a bit of a challenge because people look at this game and Liverpool and all of the attraction that brings, but also you've got some, I mean, you said it, massive games on the horizon, Coventry, I know you've got Watford as well. That balance must be really difficult to strike. Josh Sargent, for example, I can imagine he was pretty eager to feature Anfield.
Yeah, but to be fair, he is smart enough that, this was more or less a long-term plan anyway. So till here, everything worked perfect for Josh so far, and I think we had made some very good decisions, especially the medical department, the fitness department, and Josh by himself. And we progress the advices which they gave, and we will get some further impact from him in the future for sure. Yes, for him personal, everyone likes to be involved in a game against Liverpool, Anfield away, like Johnny as well. He is obviously upset about this injury and the timing as well, but this is part of football. And as long as they recover quick and they can support and push for the next games in the championship season, everything is fine, everything is good.
Just in terms of John Rowe, there's obviously been, as there is every day, I think some more speculation about him in the last 24 hours. I won't ask you about that specifically, but in terms of him, how is he kind of handling that speculation? He's a young player. He's had to encounter a lot in kind of this season. It's probably not something that he's experienced before. Is it something that you've had to speak to him about? Has he got kind of good people around him? How is he taking it? He strikes me as someone who perhaps kind of takes things in his stride a little bit.
Yeah, but he's super cool and he is very adult. So he is and behaves older than 20 in a lot of situations. And this is one of the situations where he can deal with the situations very well. You've seen his this on recent performances, even if maybe Leeds was not the standout performance, but the performances before were quite good, and this means he can handle and deal with the situations. But you know as well, the door is always open as he likes to speak. I think we all together know what our target is in this season, and we all together know that Johnny Rowe will play a big part in this targets, and this is that we are quite easy with the situation, to be fair.
It's an important quality for a particularly young player to have, isn't it? I think we've all seen and heard of players who maybe have been affected a little bit by speculation, and it can not derail, but it can certainly influence performances and whatnot. When you've got a player who's capable of kind of blocking that out, it's such an important characteristic, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, I think you get touched by it in a certain way for sure, but it always means how much. And I think he, as I said, can deal with it quite well.
In terms of Przemysław Boeta, I know you kind of spoke about him last week. Is there an expectation that there could be something there that happens before the end of the window? And if so, I mean, is he someone that's in your plans this weekend for Liverpool?
I don't know. At the moment, everything is quiet in both directions, to be fair. I've heard that there are some rumours about certain players, but it's quiet. This is a truth, and this is how it is at the minute. Maybe something accelerates in the last days. Quite often it happened, but in general I have the feeling that it's a very quiet window.
And just to get your reflections on Leeds on Wednesday night, I'm sure there would have been elements of that performance that really pleased you, some of the work in possession and maybe some stuff that you feel that is to work on as well, maybe in terms of connecting that possession to maybe attacking opportunities. I think you spoke about that after the game, but overall you must have been pretty pleased with the performance that your players delivered on Wednesday night.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's like all the games, isn't it? There are elements which are good, elements which are less good. Sometimes are more good elements than worse, and sometimes the opposite. Yeah, there were good spells. At the end of the day, we lost it. This is frustrating, but we can take the positives out of it and the negatives, and we know exactly what we have to improve, what we have to continue, and then we take it. The difference is that this is a competition, another competition which we face on Sunday. This means there can be a lot of freedom in this game because it's a different competition. Nothing features into the championship, and this is the difference for the next game.
I've got to ask you about the news that broke this morning, Jurgen Klopp and his decision, his announcement that he's going to be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. I think it took all of us by surprise. I don't know if you've had any sort of insider knowledge given your relationship with him, but what was kind of your reaction when you heard that news and of his decision to leave Liverpool at the end of the season?
To be fair, I wasn't surprised, but when he told me, I was happy for him. To be fair, because I know how hard and how difficult for him this decision was and is, and it shows a lot of personality, character, and bravery as well to make this decision. But I think only he knows what is best for him, and I think we all together know how exhausting and how challenging this business can be, and no one has more understanding for this decision as I do, and if he knows it's best for him, then I'm happy for him, and he will have a great time in front of him for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. And it's interesting what you said there in terms of your ability to relate with it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you spoke about after you left Huddersfield about maybe similar issues in terms of your energy levels, and you put so much into a job and it is going to have a human effect on you. So I'm sure you can kind of understand from that perspective where he's coming from with the demands, particularly at Liverpool, and everything that club and that job demands.
Yeah, and I think no one should underestimate he is now in this job, I think more than 22, 23 years, with only 3 months in between Dortmund and Liverpool, where he had a very short break. He wanted to have a much longer break. This is, I think everybody knows this, and there were not a lot of football clubs in the world, I think, where he was open to shorten his break, and Liverpool was one of them, and I think it was a great fit for everyone. And yeah, I think in every business, when you work for 25 years, there is a moment where you feel, whoa, this is work, even if most of the time we enjoy it. But in a business like his, on the very, very highest level, it's unbelievable, outstanding what he has done. Not only from the success which he brought to the football clubs, from the consistently where he worked in this business, and the most and the best thing for me is that, and obviously only the people who know him very well and very close can judge this, he still is the same person he was 35 years ago, from his character, and this is something which is extraordinary.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about obviously your friendship and your relationship with him. I mean, I think I read you describe it as kind of love at first sight between you two. What was it that kind of connected you? Was it similar outlooks on life, on football, similar personalities? What is it that has kind of created that bond over the years?
I think we can laugh about the same stuff, so this helps. No, listen. I think it's at the end of the day, I think it developed to something more than only a friendship. I would more say it's like a family member, and this is great to have. Like you, like everyone loves to have a family member where he can trust and believe, and knows that he will help you out if there's something where you can lean on his shoulder if necessary, or whatever. All the stuff which you need in good times and less good times, you will get from a family member or from a friend, and this is the relationship which we have. And unfortunately, we don't see us very often. Luckily, we can see us now one more time because of the draw. Who has done the draw? So I like to think the one who has done the draw for this, and and this is how it is.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of you and him, because I can imagine it's like anything, when you've got friends who work in the same business as you, sometimes that's the last thing that you want to talk about. So do you find yourselves talking about football quite a lot? Is it natural, given how long you've spent in the game? Can you find other things to talk about?
We can find other things, but not a lot. No, listen, at the end of the day, no one should forget we both love this game. This is the truth, and obviously you like to speak about the things which you love, don't you? And this is why this played and probably will always play a big part in our conversations.
How interesting is it when you've got someone who you've known for a long period of time in the opposing dugout as an opponent? I guess you have to park all of it, but it must be really difficult given the connection you have with him.
The good thing is now we experienced it a few times before. Obviously, then there is a second where it's strange. This was always the case, but then everyone is focused on his team, on the game, and afterwards it's obviously different to see him in the manager office than others, and see a lot of other guys as well, which are quite familiar to me, and this is the most difference.
Yeah, and a really tough task for your team this weekend. Premier League leaders, their home record at Anfield is, I think they've lost 1 in 50 or something. It's incredible. I mean, I don't want to say it's a free hit, but it does feel like there's some freedom for you guys to go there. And does it help when there's that less pressure going to a place when you are the underdogs?
Yeah, I know where you come from. So and I would say the same. It isn't a free hit, but it's a game in a different competition, and nothing what happens on Sunday will change anything for the championship season. This is the difference. They are good, yes, no surprise for no one. So my opponents analyze department was impressed. Let me say it in this way. But we will go there and we will try and embrace the occasion, and we will go for it. For sure we will do. And this is one of the stadiums, one of the occasions where you like to be involved if you are a football player, and we will be, and we will see what we can get out of it. Difficult task, yes, and even now with the news today, to be the first ones who he faced on his goodbye tour makes it obviously even bigger. So we will be there and we will try our best.
Yeah, how important is balance going to be in terms of your performance? I heard Luke Williams at Swansea speaking last night after Bournemouth, and about how in the first half he felt he put too many players ahead of the ball and got punished, and then put too many men behind the ball and got punished. I mean, that balance and achieving that balance in games against teams at a higher level it's so important. And then even if you can achieve it, sometimes that's not enough as well. So how difficult is that for you in terms of approach and in terms of finding that right balance between defence and attack?
The truth is, you can do whatever you do, and whatever you decide to do, it can happen to everyone, whatever you decide. But the truth is as well, it don't has to, and this is exactly how you approach it. I think whatever setup you choose, it can happen that you get a result like Swansea conceded. This is the truth, but. Football is one of the rarely sports which nobody knows if two opponents face each other, and maybe one is much more known and better than the other one. It doesn't mean that automatically always the bigger ones will win, and this is why football is so exciting. And we, as I said, we will for sure invest everything, try everything to give them a game. But we know as well they will play a crucial part in this game as well.
Yeah, just two more from me. I mean, you kind of touched upon it there. Is what is the magic of the FA Cup, which seems to be the tagline. But that opportunity to create something special, that the fact it's kind of removed from your league season, it's a one-off game. It must be sort of an element that is quite refreshing. That's quite nice to kind of be able to step out of what is a 46-game season and is pretty relentless.
Yeah, and then in a game like this, against an opponent like this, in an occasion like this, so obviously Bristol Rovers, no disrespect to Bristol Rovers, was a FA Cup game as well, but it was different. This is a truth. So now we really wanted to come through in the first round which we played, because especially before the rematch, we've known who will be the opponent which we face, and now we got it, and then it makes no sense now to be scared about it. This would be strange. So no, we are excited about it, and we are really looking forward to this game.
And just finally, I think it's nearly 4,000 Norwich fans that are going to be making the trip on a Sunday, long way. I know the sense of occasion and whatnot, but what role can they play in terms of helping your team? It might be one where you have spells without the ball and you have to defend deep. Can they give you an extra percentage from where they are to help create something special that you've spoken about?
Of course, like always, our supporters play a crucial part. So if you take last game, Ellen Road, where we had a little bit less than 1,000, but there were a moment where you were able really to hear them, and where they really pushed the players to continue play the football which they've played. And in stadiums like this, there's no better moment for a away team when you feel, it's quiet, and you hear now our supporters. So if we can create a moment like this on Sunday, then we are on the right way.
Thanks, David. Good luck.
First of all, how did John Rowe break his hand?
The truth is, he does not really know, or we don't really know. It was in the second half where he fall. He thinks that this is the moment it happens, but obviously it happened in the Leeds game.
And in terms of Jurgen, did he tell you in November, presumably, when he told the club? And you said you weren't surprised. Why weren't you surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised that the headline came out today. Right. And obviously, yes, I've known it before. And when he had told me, I think this is private.
And you know, but were you surprised when he said I'm leaving? What was your feeling? You said you were happy for him.
Yeah, to be fair, we've spoken about a moment of finishing his career or finishing his job at Liverpool in the one or other situation, and how it would be and how it would feel. I think at the end of the day, everything what I now will say to this is not the right thing to do, because it's him. He should speak about it and not me.
He's spoken this afternoon again about just how draining it is. And as you say, for any manager, but can you sort of imagine to be manager of Liverpool for over 8 years, what that takes out of you? I mean, it's extraordinary that he's been able to carry on, isn't it?
Yeah, and you should not forget, 7 years he was before the manager of Dortmund, and another 7 years before he was the manager of Mainz, and this club is the club where he spent a lot of time as a player as well, which was huge for him. No, I can't imagine. This was a question. I can't imagine how it is, because I know what I've done so far, and even there were moments where you feel it starts to get a little bit more or less enjoyable, but what he has done so long, it's outstanding.
You mentioned he hasn't changed as a person, and is that not the biggest surprise for anyone to be doing this job and not change? What sort of achievement is that, to stay the same?
I think this is. I don't think this is so easy, to be fair, because it's a different world which we live in, isn't it? And this only speaks for his character and for his human being.
Do you think he gets? Obviously, he's been a great manager, but in terms of his recruitment. It's very difficult to think of a Liverpool player that over £10 million that he signed that's not done really well. And you look everywhere else in the Premier League, and every club's signed all sorts of players, but his recruitment has been unbelievable, isn't it? Almost a gift, would you not?
£10 million for a player. How often
Well,
I
yeah.
spend £10 million for a player? So this is a different.
But you compare him to Manchester United.
No, I know where it comes from.
I mean,
Listen,
it's remarkable, isn't it? His record.
yeah, you can speak about this his recruitment, which is remarkable. You can speak about the title, the trophy which he's won in Germany and in England. So, for me, he's the best manager in the world. Point. End of story. So nothing more I can say.
And just a couple more from me. Just first of all, when you knew that it was going to be against you, the first match, and did you have a laugh about that? Because we said, it's incredible timing, isn't it? That is, the first match is against his best man.
Yeah. So the truth is that I thought, come on, can't you announce it on Monday? Do you have to announce it on? So he really tries everything to get a proper atmosphere into Anfield against us.
And looking, some of the potential people. What do you think of Xabi Alonso? Obviously, there's lots of talk in Germany today. How well do you think he's done? Because he could be one of the names in the frame for Liverpool. Obviously, you've come across him, and Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm quite far away from German football. Obviously, the results which they produced is outstanding to compete with Bayern Munich in the way they've done. It's nice for the Bundesliga that it's super competitive in this season. Super good for Leverkusen as well. And I think he has done a remarkable job, not only in this season, already in the last season when he took over. And they were, I think, in the relegation battle, and he brought them up. I think there are a lot of very smart people in the job at the minute in Leverkusen, and they have made a lot of good decisions, and obviously a crucial part always plays the manager.
Thanks, Charlie. Yes, of course, mate.